Alright, welcome back, Tiger Timers. So today, we're going to be talking about a potential new Minecraft on the way. Now this intrigued me not necessarily because I'm a huge Minecraft fan, rather it was because what the heck would that even look like, you know? I was just thinking about one of my friends, he was talking to me about the possibilities and he said, what are they going to do, just make everything circular instead of square? And that cracked me up, and that kind of just got me to thinking, like, yeah, what the heck could they do? You know, I don't know, so I wanted to make a theory video sort of about it and talk about what we do know and just go through that with you and see maybe you have some theories to share with me too. So if you don't know, this all sort of started with Notch, the creator of Minecraft, posting on his Twitter X account and asking people. He put up a poll and he was asking about whether people would rather him continuing on the potential roguelike game that he's working on, which could be really cool too, or a new Minecraft game. And as you might imagine, the new Minecraft game, sequel, won. So it doesn't even look like this is something that's being made currently. I don't know, maybe he's secretly been making it. Sounds like he's really been focused more on this roguelike. But this got people thinking maybe this is something that has been in the works. I feel like when he posted this poll, he knew which one was going to win, but maybe he was just feeling it out to see if maybe they're more interested in a new IP, but that's where this all came from. So then, people were asking questions. Obviously, this post was popping off. Someone asked a question. Johnny Sins here said, "What is this in reference to? I seem to be out of the loop." And Notch replies by saying, "I basically announced Minecraft 2. He says, "I thought that maybe people actually do want me to make another game that's super similar to the first one." And he's kind of reignited his passion for working on games. So he sort of said he doesn't really care which one he works on first, whether it's the roguelike or the new Minecraft game, but that's sort of where people have really been feeding off of, was that comment in the replies, him seeming like he's confirming that it's in the works. So I did think this was interesting, him saying he's been working on a new roguelike and everything, and that was known before this. But I think that's interesting because Minecraft Dungeons is a roguelike. I don't think that he was a part of that. That was something that he didn't specifically work on and develop himself, but it's just interesting that that IP is already associated with that. So that makes me think that this new game, which I don't think any of us were thinking it was going to be a roguelike, since that's what he's developing already, that pretty much confirms to me that it won't be, because there's already one in that Minecraft IP umbrella. So an important note too is it's probably not going to be called Minecraft 2, as I was reading, because Notch sold the actual Minecraft name, the rights of that name, to Microsoft. So it would be more of a spiritual successor, something like it's looking like Physint is going to be for Kojima, that new game he's developing that looks like a spiritual successor potentially to Metal Gear Solid, since he left that series. So I'm thinking it'll be something sort of in that same vein, even though we haven't seen that game, but something like Judas from the creator of the BioShock series, something that he was going for, or even System Shock to BioShock. That sort of same thing where it's not the same IP, but you're getting a lot of the same experience from it. He also talks about how this isn't a guaranteed thing. He knows himself this might not even see release, and he doesn't want to infringe too much on the actual Minecraft IP, what Mojang is doing with Minecraft. So it's going to be different. And it could be very different. He could go totally off the walls with it. So I started thinking, what in the world could he be envisioning the spiritual successor to Minecraft look like? What would that even look like? There are a few out there, so we can take a look at those. And it's even hard to call them spiritual successors, but we can take a look at some in that same genre, or that are similar enough with different elements to them, that could make the Minecraft formula interesting. while maintaining that same soul that it has. So the first game that came to my mind was Valheim. If you ever played Valheim, or if you haven't, I mean, sort of survival sandbox style, a lot like Minecraft. It's in early access, and if you want to try it out, there's a free trial that you can play up to 4 hours of in-game time on. So I definitely recommend checking it out. It's definitely a very different experience than Minecraft, but it captures a lot of those elements and adds in its own unique things. Like, for instance, the first time I was playing, and in Minecraft when you chop down a tree, everything's blocks, so the block just sort of respawns right there, but as a smaller material that you can pick up. In Valheim, when you destroy that tree, there's a physics system. So when my cousin and I, who were playing, knocked down that tree for the first time, it killed us and continued to knock down multiple trees throughout the forest. And it's moments like that that I think could make a new game interesting. But the real problem is, how do you do that while maintaining that blocky, non-realistic aspect of Minecraft? But I think that a physics system could be really interesting to implement into Minecraft. It also does something similar to Minecraft in the way that you sort of summon bosses. I mean, in Minecraft it's mostly just the Ender Dragon, but you sort of have to collect materials and do these specific things, like building an Ender portal. And there is a bit of a story, more than Minecraft, but I think that that's something Minecraft could use, is that sort of iterative storytelling experience that Valheim has, because Valheim's really good at using those materials you're picking up and, gathering a certain amount of those and using the deer antlers, if I remember correctly, to summon the first boss. You have to hunt a few deer, and then that'll summon the boss, and then you kind of move along, then you move to the next area. And I think it'd be cool for Minecraft to do that, to have multiple Ender Dragon style checkpoints or trials you could go through, while still using resources just like you do in that game. So that's one thing that would be interesting too. And these games I'm going to go through, that's pretty much it for Valheim. I don't want to go through them too much and take all these different elements of them, just one or two from each that either are already present in Minecraft or could just be used to improve elements that are already in Minecraft. And that's about it for Valheim for me, but I want to go into the next few just picking out a few points, and only doing that because we do want to keep that integral part of what a spiritual successor to Minecraft would look like. So that's the balance Notch is going to have to strike. And it's stating the obvious, but making it unique enough that it's not Minecraft, but people know. People know Notch worked on this. People know this is a spiritual successor, and not in just name or creator, but in gameplay. Alright, next one of my favorites. Really turned me on to the sort of farm sim, cozy, semi-survival, not really survival like Minecraft or Valheim, but that genre was Stardew Valley. It's one of my favorites, one of the best co-op experiences I've ever had. And I think that the Minecraft spiritual successor could take a bunch from this game, but again, I'll just pick out a few. Now, one of my big things with Minecraft that I don't love and I couldn't get into, and I don't think most people have, Minecraft doesn't have much of a story. Now, clearly that hasn't been a problem for it. People don't play it for their story, and even if they did, I don't know if even if it did have a story, I don't know if they would play it for that. It's clearly more about the gameplay. But what Stardew Valley does that's really nice is establish a story at the beginning and then sort of let the player just go, knowing that story, that overarching I don't know if you want to say evil or the return of your grandfather impending. There's just something you're constantly thinking about. Joja's looming over you. Your grandfather says in 2 years, I'm gonna be back. What does that look like? You know, Minecraft doesn't really have that sort of same looming story. You just spawn in, and that's part of the beauty of it too. For some of these, I don't know if they would actually help, but in theory, I think they would. I think that just giving you a reason to be in that world as Steve could be interesting enough. Why are you foraging here? Why are you existing in this Minecraft world? So, sort of providing a little opening cutscene or something like that, like there is in Stardew Valley, could be interesting. Everyone knows about the villages in Minecraft. What I think it can also take from Stardew Valley, the spiritual successor, is having more of not necessarily just one central village, but having more of a connection to the villagers, getting to know the villagers. Again, I don't know if talking would really throw off everything, and I know that there aren't going to be villagers in the Minecraft sense, but being able to converse with them or even form relationships with them could be interesting enough. And I know that when I go into a village, they're silly. They're funny to hit. They're funny to take from. It's funny to summon the golem. And that's all silly, and that's truly Minecraft. But again, this can't be Minecraft. So maybe making the villages throughout the world interesting, and you can have conversations. Not necessarily Steve talking or whoever it is, but rather just you being able to learn about these villagers and maybe form some kind of relationships or something like that. Could be interesting. Okay, so that's it for Stardew Valley. Again, I love so much about that game, but I don't want to take too much from any one game, as I said, so now we're going to be talking about Animal Crossing. Not necessarily New Horizons. For me, that definitely isn't my favorite. I like some of the earlier ones more. But I think that in Animal Crossing, one element that would be interesting to bring from it is sort of the anthropomorphism. So these animals in Minecraft, giving them some form of life. And that's sort of what a villager would be if it talked, but sort of, I don't know, allowing them to talk or be a character could be really interesting. I don't exactly know how that would work, but that just could be an interesting element. Being able to talk to the squids or the dolphins underwater, the horses while you're riding them. Something like that could be cool. And you can sort of form relationships with, for instance, the dogs when you give them bones, but having that kind of cool, interesting, Animal Crossing dialogue isn't really interesting, but those sort of anthropomorphic elements to it could be interesting. Another element from Animal Crossing that could be cool, and definitely call me out if I'm missing something here. I haven't played Minecraft a ton. I used to play it a lot more back in the day, but I haven't played it very much in a few years. But as far as I know, there aren't a lot of seasonal events, sort of like Animal Crossing does during the holidays, or someone will come visit, something like that. I think it would be cool if they have sort of people coming to visit your world from another world, another dimension, and they kind of say, hey, you can go to this village to see this person. Obviously it's going to be a lot bigger than Animal Crossing probably, but something like that could be interesting. Like, hey, what's his name? KK Slider. It won't be that, but something similar is in this village to the northeast, in the Winter Village. You could go see him. Something like that would be interesting. One last thing from Animal Crossing that could be cool. People love collectibles. Just doing stuff like catching insects, having sort of a compendium or it's like a capture catalog, a record, I can't remember the exact, an encyclopedia, something like that you could fill out as you go, and creatures you can find. I wouldn't necessarily want the real time of Animal Crossing, that's pretty distinct, and I don't love that. I wouldn't love that in another game, but something like that too. Seems like it could integrate really well with the Minecraft world. I threw Palia on here because that's sort of an interesting one. It's interesting, first of all, because it's an MMO on the Switch, which is just kind of weird. Every time I've booted it up, it's run pretty terribly. I did just download a new update for it. I really don't play it that much, but I wouldn't want the MMO aspect of it either. The real reason why I have it on here is there are interesting day-night things that happen, as well as the graphical style could be interesting. More of a cartoony style like that, while maintaining some sort of shape to everything like the blocks, but I don't know, I think that just that graphical style, more of a cartoony style, because it is going to need to change. Now The Sims. So sort of what I'm doing with this list is just taking cool elements of sort of similar games and putting them into this spiritual successor. Like I said, I don't know if all of them would work, but The Sims is here for its relationship and interesting character development options. Now to me, Steve is iconic because he's Steve. Doesn't really say anything. So this can't be Minecraft, so there is opportunity for this new character to be able to talk. And there aren't a lot of these type of games where your character is fully talking and has sort of an interesting relationship opportunity with everyone. I really don't see how that would work in Notch. That would be a far cry from what he has made. But that just could be really interesting. I was a big fan of, I think it was Sims 2. I just remember slapping people with fish all the time. Grim Reaper coming around, doing a lot of woohoo. Had this crazy surfing machine in the backyard that would improve some kind of skill. And they just had these cool holiday expansions that I used to play on PC. And it was just fun. It was cozy. I wouldn't go full career style. You don't want to have to get a career in Minecraft. That'd be funny. But for this, sort of more of just having interesting people you could talk to. Something like I mentioned in Stardew Valley, but sort of going that next level and having a little bit of silliness to it. Something like that could be interesting, but I feel like building relationships that intensely, you wouldn't want a family or anything like that. That would be too devoid. You really do want it to still be focused on that gameplay. But I just think that would be interesting to have more of a connection with NPCs, because right now there really isn't any in Minecraft besides the goods you can steal from them or you can kill from to get goods. So that could be an interesting one. That would be a tough one for me to visualize exactly. I've tried to think of how it would work. That's really up to Notch in the end, but like I said, maybe just villagers or villages that you could go to and form those relationships with. You could trade with. Something like that could be interesting. Now, an important thing to remember is, what is it that makes Minecraft so good, so great? I know that for me when I play, it's sort of about the peace that I immediately feel wash over me. It's about the soundtrack, the beauty that soundtrack just sort of extracting from this empty but lived in world. I've started many Minecraft seeds and I actually haven't beat the campaign. I've seen my friends do it. I haven't personally gone through myself and done it. but I can appreciate the place Minecraft has in the gaming culture we live in, and many of my friends still play it to this day. One of my friends even rebuilt much of Middle-earth, which blew my mind. He had Sauron's tower in the eye, which was super cool, and I think that's sort of the beauty of it. Some people beat the story, some people rebuild an entire universe, fictional universe. And I've never really delved into the YouTube Minecraft space, but I've always appreciated that it was there too. There's a lot of fun stuff to watch about Minecraft. You know, someone I like to watch a lot is Moist Critical, and he's had some moments of playing through the Minecraft speedrun route, if you could call it that, with the random seeds. There's no real route, I guess, but I've seen Small Ant do it too. It's been fun to watch him, and those guys make it plenty entertaining, and it's the perfect versatile game. It's cozy, it's full of imagination, you can do anything. It has lots of danger if you want that too. There's a little bit of mystery to it. You have characters like Herobrine, who is just born from this creepypasta, and so there are times when people say they still see him and he's haunting them in their games. Never officially been added as far as everything says, but that's the fun of a creepypasta and an open world sandboxy game like this, is that such a thing can exist, and that's something that a spiritual successor would need to capture. But it's a nice game to watch, and it's even good to speedrun. It just is good for anything. It's done so many things right and almost nothing wrong, really. And I say almost nothing wrong because of course there have been things that have been done wrong, and it's not my favorite game either, as you can tell by sort of what I've said. I haven't beat the campaign, and I love more of a story-driven RPG than the procedural cozy style that Minecraft presents. I love to play it with friends, but I appreciate it more for what it does for gamers around me in the gaming sphere. Sort of how it introduces some people to games, or how that's the only game that people play and they're fully satisfied with it. It's transcended gaming into the cultural zeitgeist. There's the movie coming out, you know, so it's done something special for gaming. So in terms of what it can improve, it needs to keep a lot of the stuff, but what it can improve is most of what I've said in the list previous to this, as well as something I've also said, just improving the story, whether it's just a Stardew sort of overarching, this is coming in the future, you know, keep your eyes out, or there's this corporation looming over the world, causing bad things to happen, the villagers are talking and muttering about it. Stuff like that could be interesting to have, and would make me personally, someone who's more interested in the story-driven aspects, more intrigued. So, just some thoughts, something to think about for anyone watching, and I'd be curious to see what exactly you guys want from Minecraft 2, or what you think it might look like. To be clear, as we said, it's not going to be Minecraft 2, a spiritual successor, rather, but what do you think it's going to look like? I'm curious. Thanks for watching. Also want to pop this in here. If you guys could like and subscribe, that'd be awesome. On the road to 100. Should be pretty fun if we make it there. Got about 30 so far, so it's been a good ride. But yeah, it's cool. Got a little mini community. Started streaming too, so if you want to check those out, feel free to come by. But alright, let's get into this